Garth here, and I excited to come to you tonight. Today has been a super interesting day, and so I came up with this title, "Unstoppable: The Power of Persistence," because um, my buddy Eric and we had a plan for the day, and that was to change out some tires and do a carburetor uh, repair rebuild, and we didn't ever get to the carburetor, and we changed the tires, but the tires were the inner tubes were defective, and after 20 minutes they just blew out, which was quite remarkable at the stem, really. But in the process of trying to get the tires off, we had a stuck wheel on the shaft, and we tapped it one time too many, and we stripped the clip that held it in place, and so we had to pull apart the transmission. And what was interesting is that in order to figure it out, we had to open it up. And when we opened up that transmission, like all the gears fell out. I mean, literally, like they just fell to the ground. And and we got a lot of grass to cut here, right? So, so when the gears fell to the ground, I'm thinking to myself, like, oh crap, this is not good. This is going to require some thought power. So I said I said to my buddy Eric, I said, between you and I, man, we got a lot of brain power here. We're going to figure this out. And then I made a phone call to see if I can get like a used transmission, and the guy didn't have any available. And he was like, man, normally we don't even mess with those things. We just either get a new one or we just don't even open them up because it's not worth the effort. So, here's the story. Here's a lesson about persistence. You've got everything in front of you is a total freaking mess. You don't know which way to go. You've got people telling you stuff that, it would work, it could work. But you may not have the resources or the time or the money for it. And you've got something that you need to get done, and it needs to get done. And and you got a whole pile of mess in front of you, and that is the gears and all these things that fell out. And so we just took our time, and we just looked at it, and you said trial and error, and we started to figure out, okay, where would this go, and how would that fit? And finally, after about an hour, we figured it out. And in figuring it out, we put it all back together. And putting it back together was a bit of a challenge because we had to put it in such a way, because if you turned it the wrong way, it would fall back out again, hence why it fell out in the first place. But then we got a strategy, and we built a table to support it. And we got it back together. And we put it back together. And I had no idea whether it was going to work or not, but you know what? It worked. So tomorrow we're gonna give it the ultimate test, and we're gonna get the tires sorted out so we can get air in the tires and get them running, and put it back there. But it went forward and it went in reverse, and that's what we needed to do once we put it back together. And sometimes people will tell you that things don't work, or it won't work, or it can't work, or whatever it is, and you will want to believe them. And sometimes people will tell you it can work, and here's how you're going to do it. And then sometimes you just got to put your minds together with someone else and say, okay, let's figure this out. And that's what we did. And we put it back together. And it was a couple missing clips on the outside, but we just got to get new clips. And so I guess the moral of this story is that persistence pays off, because we put it back together, now it's working. And sometimes you just got to stick it out until you figure it out. And the answer may not come in one day or one afternoon or 1 week or 1 month. It might take a year or two. It might take even longer, or you'll figure it out right away. But either way, if you give up, you won't ever figure it out. Because if we had given up, we would just have a pile of gears and a casing to a transmit just laying in a box somewhere saying, okay, we couldn't figure it out, so we gave it up. So that's the power of persistence. It's like unlocking something inside of your head, inside of your body, because you stay focused and you overcome a challenge. And every time you overcome a challenge or you stay focused around something, it's like a muscle. You strengthen it. I have friends, man, that are dealing with enormous financial stress because their business is not going the way it should be, and they've got to navigate and do some things differently. But if you just quit, then you won't ever know if you ever could. And so one of the things Eric said to me, before we quit, why don't we just try every possible option, until there are none. And then once there are none options, then we know we've done everything that we could do. So that's the moral also of the story, is that you have to look at every possible option and just try it until you figure it out. Because eventually something will work, or you will say to yourself, I tried everything, nothing worked, and now I can move on to the next thing, have a new plan to have success in this thing here. So with that, I just want to say thank you for being here. I don't know if this is a motivational moment or just just my day. It was my day. And all the things that we plan to do today haven't happened yet. So we still have to be challenged with that, and it did cause a little reschedule in my day for tomorrow. But at the end of the day, until you've exhausted all your possibilities, you won't ever know if something's going to work or not work. And sometimes putting something back together gives you an opportunity to really think about what it is that you're doing, and then come up with a better strategy or find ways to make it work. So, hope you enjoyed. See you soon. See you tomorrow. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Ciao.